always on to the next big thing.
Hello, my name is Shannon Poe. I'm president of American Mining Rights Association, AMRA. We got a little video that we shot the other day that we're taking you out to. It's up on one of our claims, Albee 1, in the South Mother Lode of California. Should be a pretty good day, a little bit of metal detecting and a pretty nasty hike. So we hope you enjoy that. Just a bit about AMRA. We're a non-profit association. We're not a gold club. And we advocate for miners' rights, and we advocate to keep the public lands open to the people. I think we're all aware of what the government is doing in closing lands at an alarming rate all across the country. We're battling them hard. As a matter of fact, just next week we have a meeting with the Forest Service over 300,000 acres that they've closed just in our neck of the woods. So it's time we fight back, people, and we ask that you join us. For a pretty small donation, we give you access to all of our gold claims, which we have claims in California, Arizona, Idaho, and we're working on some claims in Indiana, as well as Colorado and Oregon. So we could sure use your support. Every bit of the money that we take in goes to the Miners Legal Fund. So support us, or support PLP, Public Lands for the People, at plp2.org. And Jerry and his crew, they fight the big fights and the big litigation that's going on in California, and by golly, we could both use your help. So enough about that. So where we're at is out of Mariposa, California. It's one of our favorite claims. It's got a little water tank in there that we use as a swimming pool and whatnot. But we've been wanting to go down this particular spot of the canyon in the second half of the video for years. And we've looked at it, and I think after you see the video, you'll know why we hadn't gone down there. Because we got down there and we had a heck of a time getting out. We ended up in basically a box canyon, and thankfully somebody had left some rope down there years ago, which we stole, and managed to hike out, tie it up, and we got back out. So anyway, we hope you enjoy this video, and remember, check us out on AmericanMiningRights.com.
Folks who still make a living with their hands. Where I come from, a man is still a man. Where I live, people know your name. They ask how you've been, and they're always glad you came. You can sit down just to talk about old times. That's my California.
So guys, let me explain what we got going here. Is right behind us, less than 70 yards, is the trucks and the tank. Where John and I are standing right here, there's stacked rock right here. Stacked rock is indicative of the 1800s, and we do know that this was a cabin site. So there's a little ridge that goes up behind us here, and John was already getting hits here. So we're going to metal detect this area. But I like to come in areas like this and not so much metal detect, although we will, the house site. But I look at, you know, if guy was living in here in the 1800s, they didn't have safes. They didn't have any place to really store their gold. So as Lisa knows, right behind us here, we were over on Perlo and metal detected inside of a giant oak tree and found a gold nugget inside this oak tree in this big opening. The people would, back in those days, is there'd be 5 guys living in a 10 by 10 cabin, and they would stash their gold up in the trees, or in a, you know, a crook of a tree, or underneath another rock somewhere else. So I like to metal detect not only these areas, but other areas, bedrock holes, giant oak trees, things like that. So we'll probably fish around in the trees up here and stuff too. But anyway, you started getting a hit here, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actually, somewhere.
So anyway, we'll fish around here. We'll show you if we find anything cool.
I was born and raised in California. Spent a little got time. Too busy living to live life right. It's always on to the next big thing. And up in that city by the bay, you couldn't pay me enough to stay. I never got what the big deal was anyway. That's not where I call home. I need a little room to roam.
Well guys, we just went for a little swim here, had some lunch, and we're gonna hike down the claim, and there's another draw over here that's got a whole bunch of exposed bedrock, and there's a couple of open mines up here that all of that drainage flows into. So it's one of the few areas down here that I haven't explored. But one thing I wanted to tell you, I carry these frequently. You'll see these in a lot of videos, and they're just sandbags. We had one of our members donated a couple of hundred of these bags to us from Lowe's in Sonora, and I mean, they weigh nothing. You can throw them into your backpack, and what we're going to do is go bust some bedrock apart, and we'll pull out that material and we'll put it in these bags, and then we'll probably end up bringing that back and running it up at the shop, or we can pan it out down here in the pool. But just carry a bare minimum. Make sure you carry enough water. Be aware that especially on the claims this year, there's a lot of ticks, and we sat here and had lunch and probably pulled 5 ticks off of us, and the dogs were covered with them. But what we're carrying with us is just basically a pan. I've got you know, a small little pick, and it's got a scoop on the end of it, and then a crevice tool, and I wish, and then just a real stout crevice tool. I wish we actually had a small pry bar, you know, something that's about maybe 2 feet long, but we just don't have one today, so we'll have to use manpower. But anyway, so we're going to hike out. We'll probably stop the camera, and in about 30 minutes we'll be down there and we'll show you what we're going to do. So let's take off. We'll go down there.
That's still the place that I call home, 'cause we got small towns and farmland, folks who still make a living with their hands. Where I come from, a man is still a man. Where I live, people know your name. They ask how you've been, and they're always glad you came. You can sit down just to talk about old times. That's my
I had a buddy of mine one time that he was a beer brewer like myself, and he took a bunch of these manzanita berries and decided to add those to his beer, and brewed up a big 5-gallon batch and drank it, and then learned that manzanita berries are a laxative.
Oh shit.
How'd that work out for him?
Oh man.
but sometimes I still look up at the stars when I hear my favorite song. And I thank God for small towns and farmland, folks who still make a living with their hands, places where a man can still be a man, like right here in my hometown. I wanna live where people know your name. They ask how you've been, and they're always glad you came. You can sit down just to talk about old times.
Well, we're down in the bottom of this canyon, guys, and we're all scratched up. We've had to bust through poison oak, and we were washing out with some Dawn dishwashing detergent, which washes that urushiol off of your body so you don't get the poison oak. And we just found this little trapped area of water here in the bedrock, and it's right where these two gullies converge. And right there on top, I don't know if you guys can see this, maybe John can zoom in on that, but that was sitting right on top of the piece of bedrock. And I'll be honest with you guys, we've found this quite often. I shouldn't say that often, but you know, quite a few times we've found pieces like this that they just get stuck on top of the bedrock. When this thing is flowing and a bunch of water's coming down here, this gold is so heavy, it's 16 times heavier than water, so it slides out and it stops on this rock, and there she sits. And if the water recedes down, there's nothing that's going to move that piece of gold again until somebody like me comes along and picks it up, or you get another gully washer that blasts through here. So anyway, always be looking on that. And that's just about, we found it just down in here with some of this black sand, but that's what you look for. So we'll have John zoom back here a little bit, and we're stuck here, guys. We've got a box canyon right behind us that's just a sheer wall. We can't go up. So we found an old piece of rope down here, and I'm going to try to scale this side hill, which I would not recommend anything like this. And I'm going to try to secure a rope up on top, and maybe we can get the other guys to use that rope to get out. So anyway, that's the game plan. Does anybody have anything we can put this in? I want to emphasize something here for everybody watching this. We do not recommend that you try these things. We just don't really have a choice, guys. We got locked into a box canyon here, and we don't have a way out. We'll have John pan to the right here, and you'll see that that's just it's a box canyon. It's a cliff. You can't go up it. So we just don't have a whole lot of alternatives other than, this is probably, I'm going to say a 65-degree slope, easily.
Easily.
And it's a bare rock face, but we do have one little tiny ledge that we think we might be able to get out. So we got this rope, and I'll try to get up there and tie it off, and then maybe these guys can use this. So well, we hope you enjoyed that video out on Albie 1. We sure had a good time shooting it. And guys, I want to remind everyone here that goes out on our claims is that because of the rimfire, a lot of these bears and cougars and bobcats and heck, every critter known to man has come out of that burn area and is in our areas now. So be aware of that. And the ticks are extremely, extremely bad this year. So after you get done hiking or mining or whatever, make sure you check yourself real good. Lyme disease is nothing to mess with. We got a young lady up there in out of Coulterville that we help support. We individuals help support her financially because the government's cut off of her medical care, and she's got Lyme disease. Just a teenager, and boy, I tell you, it's just destroying her life. So anyway, we hope you've enjoyed that. We encourage you to check us out on AmericanMiningRights.com, and go out to Facebook and check us out there. We post there every single day, and we keep everybody up to date on what's going on. All you got to do is type in American Mining Rights, and you can pull up our webpage, and you can shoot us an email, ask us questions. We're here for you. So anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this, and we've got many more videos to come, and we're out there fighting for you every day. We appreciate your support. Take care.